Hey guys, it's Justin again with another work in progress for the 1-to-100 MECHANICORE Zerstore. This is the arms. This is the second part of the unit that you assemble when you are putting this monstrosity together. I have got them both assembled this time because there's really not a lot of pieces to the arms. It comes in, I think, 4 or 5 steps altogether. You do like the elbow down, then you'll do the hands, then you'll do above the elbow, then you'll do this inner piece, and then you'll do the armor. So a couple pieces, or a couple different steps. Every single one of them is a pain, but again, all the pain of this kit really revolves around the frame. The rest of it works pretty well. None of these armor pieces really like to stay where they're supposed to be, which won't be a problem once it's painted and glued. But you know, for snap assembly, you're going to need to glue it. That's just going to happen. The armor printed, or the camo printed armor looks decent, I guess. Still not a fan of that. Just realized, okay, there it is. These little yellow bits don't like to stay in. Plug that in for you real quick and show you. So there's what it looks like with it in, and then as soon as you kind of twist it, it just falls out. Same thing with these elbow caps. They sit there and then you turn and it falls off. These armor bits that go around the arm, again, don't fit. Don't bother. I had a problem with this hand where the fingers just would not stay in. I tried gluing them, I tried a bunch of other things, and they just don't fit. So I have a replacement set coming. I'll be able to square that all away and get those you know, in, and hopefully they'll work a lot better. At least I hope. So what's next? Disassembly, paint the frame. Once the hands arrive anyway, I'm going to paint the frame for everything. I'm going to paint the hands separately, put them together over the thing, and then paint all the rest of it. Other little problems. There's little screws inside these little joints here, and like the entire kit works using the Allen wrench that they include, which is really bad, by the way. I've already stripped one side of it, and I've only put the legs and the arms together. But you put these all together, and there's one piece that uses a regular screw, and it's like a micro screwdriver, and I could not find anything at all to screw it in properly. I wound up using this little, it's like a plus head screwdriver. I wound up using this that came with my atomizer, and this is too wide, so I had to use the corner of it and press it down with my finger and just kind of twist it and hope for the best. A whole mess, but done. It's all put together. It's sturdy, it's stiff, good enough. So I can take all this apart, paint it, put it back together. Done deal. So this whip isn't going to be as long as the other one, I don't think. It's going to be pretty straightforward. I think you understand my working order by now. I can show off the articulation on this a little bit. It's not the greatest. Flip this up so you can see. So this joint here will move up and down, all that stuff. You get up and down there. You get a joint here, which I just popped out. You get rotation at the arm like that. I'm going to have to glue that in too. You get a double joint at the elbow. The wrist moves up and down a little bit. You get the full fingers and all that nonsense. So anything your hands can do, and then some, these things can do. But I wouldn't recommend playing with them too much because they don't like to stay in. This hand is surprisingly okay, but the other one is the one where I I can't even get the fingers to go back in now. It's pretty awful. Like I can get one finger in there maybe, and then the rest just don't cooperate. So, but it's a neat looking piece. It's really simple. There's really like, you know, the armor itself is like 12 pieces, so painting this is going to be a snap. So no problems there. I'm actually kind of looking forward to getting that done and moving on to the next bit. I don't know. So I will come back and we will do something. I'm not really sure what to talk about here, so I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, so we have the arm frames completely painted up and, you know, all squared away. All that's good to go. I need to put a little bit of glue on some of the backs of some of these pieces. They like to pop out. You can see, not the best connection in the world. These ones are really bad because this arm actually fit together better than this one. So these ones are looser, where this one's got like a tiny bit of a gap between it. It holds the pieces kind of where they're supposed to be. Painted the hands up for the one hand that would stay together. When I get my replacements, they will probably be taken off, and, you know, I'll just use the option set. But for the starters, I'm just going to go ahead and do this one when I get it, just to make sure that it fits and it's the same, and then I'll go from there with what I'm going to do. The only other metallic pieces on this are the back sides of the arm guards. Those are, again, done up. I didn't do a lot of detailing because that literally gets tucked away and you don't really see it. So, same goes for the frame. I didn't go crazy on details because it's going to be like the armor is going to be glued on because it won't stay otherwise. So this thing is going to be very much a brick when it's done. But the arms frame is done, so I'm in the middle of shading and doing the oranges and the whites and all that stuff. I've got couple little bit of candy blues. The arms are somewhere between incredibly easy. They're ridiculously, like the parts on these, I think this might be maybe 30-40 pieces, and then the armor itself is maybe 20-25. So altogether you're looking at maybe like, you know, 150 pieces for both arms. It's really not that bad compared to how the legs were. There's a lot of parts in the legs. There's a lot of instruction steps in the legs. But at the same time, there are a lot of problems with the arms. The arms are horrible. Like, I don't know why they're designed the way they are. A lot of these pieces just don't make sense. It's just like layering these thin little pieces that don't stay in place and stay together on top of each other, and then trying to fit stuff over top of that. It just doesn't really work very well. So G-System needs to step their game up with this frame nonsense. Another weird thing is, as far as decals are concerned, there's like no decals on the arms whatsoever. So I might go ahead and slap some Helios decals on the arms a little bit, because there's one decal on each arm, that's it. And then there's two on each shoulder when you build the shoulders. So I'm gonna cut. I'll come back when all the armor is done, and we'll look at what everything looks like, and I'm gonna put one of them together so you guys can see it. So I'll be back. Okay, here it is, the completed arm. Little lighter on the orange this time, but I'm quite pleased with it. The way these sit, these are so tight on this that it presses these out, so they look kind of silly. Maybe I'll be able to fix that a little later on down the line, but it looks okay. I'm really happy with the colors I used here. I think they really add a nice, decent amount of contrast. It's not too strong. There's not too much of it, and there's not a lot going on. So, you know, you got like the one gray piece on the back side here, and then the large gray piece, of course. and then you know, I like to do the whites on the thighs and the biceps, so a little bit of dark gray really breaks that up really nicely. I think I did the same thing with the thighs. There is the arms. All I gotta do is put the candy blue pieces in once those dry up, and we'll be good to go. So according to the instructions, the next part is the thighs and the waist unit. So we will put those together and we will see some whips. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Later.